We're back at Kendall Elementary School for day 6 of the Caferteria Chronicles. And today's pizza day, but I'm going to be eating something different. I'm going to be having a low-fat cheese sandwich on whole wheat bread. And in Norwalk Public Elementary Schools, there are 2 ways to wind up with a cheese sandwich on your plate. The first way is that you order it. So you voluntarily go up and you don't like the other options, so you get it. And in addition to the cheese sandwich, you get a drink, like a carton of milk, and you get a vegetable side and a fruit. The other way to wind up with a cheese sandwich is if your family has not paid for your food in 5 days. These are kids who aren't on the free and reduced lunch program, and they show up and they have some outstanding payments, and instead of getting hot lunch or a turkey sandwich or even the cheese sandwich with all the trappings, they get a cheese sandwich and a carton of milk on their styrofoam plate. That's it. So I'm going to be having that today for lunch. I had a really small breakfast, and we'll see if I can make it through the day on just those calories alone. Thank you so much. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot my lunch. I guess we'll go sit over here. I got invited by my new friends. Everybody who is sitting at the table with me got hot lunch of pizza or a fish sandwich, and the pizza looks really delicious compared with my lunch, which is a whole wheat bun with 4 slices of low-fat American cheese, and a block of cheese on there. That's a cheese sandwich, all right. Miss O'Shea and Tony Ditrio, the principal and assistant principal, were telling me that sometimes when a student gets the cheese sandwich, to sort of mitigate the way that it feels to have to eat this while everyone around them is eating hot lunch, they'll put it in the microwave and make it a little bit more like grilled cheese. I didn't take advantage of that, and I'm wishing that I did just because it's a little bit dry. By a little bit dry, I mean very, very, very dry. Okay. Better. And do you like American cheese? Yeah. I'm finished with my meal much earlier than everybody else at the table. As an adult, I know that it's not a huge deal that I'm still hungry right now because I can go out later and buy something else if I'd like. But I'd imagine that if I were a child, there would be some degree of stress because I have to wait until I get home. I live in a world that is governed by adults. I can't just go and get another snack. And it makes me feel pretty badly about the situation. On the upside, I have had a lot more time to socialize than I did any other day during lunchtime. That's me searching for the silver lining in this situation. And I sat at a table full of really awesome kids today. So, and none of them said anything about me having the cheese sandwich. And they were really cool about it, so I feel good. And I made it through pizza day without any pizza, which was tough.
Uh-huh. Thank you guys so much for letting me. Have a great day. Bye.
I've heard that's a really good show. So today was day 6 of the Caferteria Chronicles. It was pizza day. And if I had gotten pizza, I would have gotten, just like last Friday, low-fat mozzarella with tomato sauce on whole wheat crust, and a salad and a piece of fruit. Instead, I opted to go with the alternative, as they say, which is for children whose parents haven't paid for lunch 5 days in a row. And that alternative is just like 4 or 5 slices of sort of thick, processed, low-fat American cheese on a whole wheat bun, and a carton of milk. And that was that. And I'm a little bit hungry still, and really tempted to steal one of these oranges, but I'll resist. The girls at the table I sat with were really insightful. they told me that this happens to them once in a while, and these are kids who aren't on free or reduced lunch programs, and they still sometimes get stuck with the cheese sandwich, and Mr. Dietrio and Miss O'Shea are nice enough to melt them to make them a little more appealing, and the students themselves are very supportive of one another. They'll share their snacks or their lunches, and it's really not embarrassing because they're surrounded by peers who understand their situation, and to me that was really uplifting. And today was a success, and we'll come back Monday for some more hot lunch.
I'm serving a cheese sandwich. It's referred to as an alternate lunch, and basically what it comes down to is a cheese sandwich with a milk. They don't get the dessert, they don't get the vegetable, or if there's a cookie or something that day. So the kids they get upset by that. Most don't want that plain sandwich. And hopefully the parents do send in the money that they're behind. And I'd like to mention too that it's not absolutely free for the alternate lunch. That the parents are charged $1 for that alternate lunch, opposed to, $11 a week or $2.20 a day. So it's.
And how about the reduced students? Do they have to pay anything?
Reduced students are supposed to pay $2 a week for lunch.
So do they have to pay for the cheese sandwich?
Yes, they do.
How
And
much?
we
10
charge them.
cents?
Yeah, right, something like that. Right, exactly.
And so is it after 3 days or after 5 days that they get the cheese sandwich?
According to Whitson's, we're supposed to call after 2 days.
Okay.
2 days that it's not paid.
So when does the cheese sandwich arrive on the kid's plate?
That third day, we don't get the money from the parents. And we have no choice but we call them up, we try to ask them to please send in the money tomorrow. If we know it's a parent that's generally behind, we'll try to call a little sooner, give them a heads up that you're almost to the point where we're going to have to serve the alternative lunch to your child. So, if you could please send in the money.
And when you talk to parents, whether it's full-paying students or reduced-price students' parents, what do they tend to say? What are the reasons that they give that they haven't been able to pay?
A lot of them say that they didn't realize that the child was over the balance. We do, every Tuesday, we have a Tuesday communicator where all notices from the school go home with students. Every Tuesday, we do send out a bill so that the parents know where their balances are at with their students. Many will say that they didn't receive it. Others will, say, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. We have a few that have actually told us we unfortunately don't have it this week. My child will have to have the alternative lunch, or that they will send a home lunch in with the child.
And do the children who receive the alternate lunch tend to be reduced or full-price students?
Yes.
Are they
Yeah.
more of them reduced or more full price?
I would say it's probably a 50-50 on that. I really would. We
And
see it with both.
because it is a complicated issue where the district obviously needs some money. Could you sort of, could you talk a little bit about your take on the procedure?
It's difficult. I see the children's faces. I speak directly to the parents who want to give their children, of course, everything, like any parent would. Unfortunately, a lot of them financially just cannot afford to do it. Sympathetic to Whitson, they're laying out this money. They have to get it back. So it's a really tough situation. My heart aches for the kids. I'm understanding of what the parents go through, and I can also appreciate what Whitson has to deal with.
And you don't obviously have to name any names, but are there students who are reoccurringly on the list for the alternate cheese sandwich?
Yes, many times over. Many times over. And, in fact, often staff feeling bad for the child, or if we know that the family is struggling, often many staff members will chip in and pay off whatever the lunch balance is so that the child can have a regular hot lunch. We actually have children who cry. They've come in the office crying. I don't want this cheese sandwich. So I think it's embarrassing for the students also, because all the other kids know that means you didn't pay the bill. That you're separated from the line and are given this alternative lunch. So most of the staff members will say, I will cover that child this week.
So
to
the
help them out.
numbers So I got some numbers from Whitson's for how many students here in the past week had cheese sandwiches. Would that number be higher if the staff wasn't stepping in?
Absolutely.
So it's not really an accurate reflection.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, it seems like, oh gosh, I don't want to mention names, but quite a few staff members have stepped forward and said, here, $10, cover that child for the next 2 weeks on me. Because we feel so bad for them. Their call us, she was very emotional, found out that her child took money out of her own piggy bank that she was saving, like $7, $8, whatever it was, because she didn't want the alternate lunch, which is a cheese sandwich and a milk. It's sad. We've had a lot of sad stories. That's why I think so many of the staff kind of steps up to the plate and covers. We put the money in for the students. You have a lot of parents who, you could start with the application when they put it in. Some of these parents are so close to the border between reduced and free. There's such a small margin there. Parents who have more than one child, it may sound like, oh, what is $2 a week? But when you have 2 and 3 kids, or if they have students that are in middle school or high school, the rate is even higher. So for them to come up with that, say $10 or $12 a week for their amount of children, it's extremely difficult. It really is. To someone else, they may say, oh, it's $12 to feed 2 or 3 children. But to a family that's struggling, they really feel it. They feel that a lot. And it's sad. They're barely keeping food on the table and I guess paying rent and other bills, and it's difficult. We have some students that started out where they were fine, parents weren't qualified for either free or reduced, but then a parent will lose a job or something will happen, a divorce, and they have to refile an application and then they do qualify for either free or reduced. So we have a lot of that. It's going on throughout the year. Numbers are constantly changing for who's full paying, who's reduced, and who qualified for free. It says, I am unhappy about the need to write this letter, but unfortunately it is necessary. Unpaid balances for school lunches have resulted in delinquent accounts totaling tens of thousands of dollars. This situation cannot be allowed to continue. This is when we first notified parents and started implementing the program. It's dated December 15, 2008. Then it goes on to say here, presently the account of your child's school lunch is delinquent in the amount of, and we would fill it in per student. As of Friday, December 12, 2008, despite our efforts thus far, we have been unable to receive payment from you. Consequently, we are unable to continue to provide your child with a regular lunch. Effective Tuesday, January 20th, 2009, if your account is not current, your child will be provided with an alternative lunch. The cost billed to your account will be less, but you will, of course, continue to be responsible for the payment. That amount is $1, although it doesn't state it there. The Board of Education is currently developing policies that will result in legal and appropriate procedures the district will take to recover the amounts that are due. We recognize that some of our families are facing difficult times. We are happy to work with you to, and he puts a few bullets in, assist you in determining if your child qualifies for free or reduced price lunch. 2, assist you in completing the application if you do meet the guidelines. 3, work with you to develop a payment plan. We do allow that. Not all parents have the money to send in all at once, and we're happy to send us what you can, and we'll do our best to work down the balance. We regret that this action is necessary, but we have a responsibility to make that all legal financial obligations are met. Please feel free to contact your child's principal, school social worker, or Dr. Dan Cook, Chief Operating Officer, lists the phone number, for assistance in resolving the situation. You may use the tear off at the bottom to send in your payment immediately. Please complete the necessary information. So that's when the whole program was first implemented.